thank you for doing the immigration thing for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being interested in doing this. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
When did your family come to America, and what prompted you to leave your homeland and that time?
At that time. Okay. I was born in Yugoslavia, so that in 1941, during the war, the Germans came to the Yugoslavia, not to my city till actually 1943, because we were occupied by Italians and they were pretty safe. But in 1943, uh, uh, the Germans were advancing. We would end up in concentration camp. So what happened? We escaped and went to Italy. So I went to Italy, and I was first a refugee in Italy for 7 years. And then in 1950, we couldn't stay there any longer because, citizenship. So in 1950, we applied and came to the United States. So basically, to escape the Second World War and then to leave Italy because we couldn't stay. We didn't want to go back to Yugoslavia, had become communist and Tito's and all that. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
With whom did you travel, and could you describe that journey?
What?
Who did you travel with?
Oh, I traveled with my mother and father. From my hometown, we traveled to the mountains on foot. Then later on, for 2 or 3 days, and then we went from a small boat to other boats, and then the ship to Italy. So that was the travel from my home country to Italy. From Italy, actually, I came with a big ship, just a normal ship, a transatlantic ship. What was the next question? There was an additional question there.
No, that was it.
That was
How
it.
did you describe what it was like when you
Okay,
came?
what it was like.
Good.
Part of it was very difficult when I left home, But then from Italy to America, it was an easy trip, fun.
Great.
What did you feel would be the advantage to coming to America?
Oh, what was the advantage? What was it? What did I feel? The advantage would be to have a home country. I mean, did not belong anyplace. Didn't have a country. Didn't have a passport. So basically, we'll come to America to become citizen of this country.
Okay. What challenges or disadvantages did you face in coming to a new country?
What is advantages and disadvantages? The disadvantage, the major disadvantage was that I did not speak the language. So I came here not speaking the language. My parents did not speak the language. In Italy it was the same thing. I did not speak it well. My parents spoke it poor. So the big disadvantages was you come as a refugee is that you are not familiar with the customs, you don't know the language, and basically the culture is different.
What language did you speak?
I spoke Serbo-Croatian, and I spoke Spanish, or Ladino, the Jews spoke before I went to Italy. Then I learned Italian, and I still speak it completely fluently.
Wow.
And then when I came to the United States, I did speak English. I took lessons a little before coming, but I had to learn everything.
Wow.
What is the best moment you have about coming to America?
What was the best moment? That's interesting. Yeah. Maybe, I think that my biggest I went to high school here, and it was very interesting because I didn't speak English well, but I had a wonderful math teacher who was Mrs. Esther Jacobs, of all things. And she did not, she given me tests and I did very well. Ace all because I came from a very European country where math was taught very well. So I became very close friends with a teacher who did not exist in Europe. This you did not, and I became actually very close to Esther Jacobs. Of course, she was Jewish and knew my. I didn't realize it at the time. And as a matter of fact, I think my first Thanksgiving I went with her, and which was very exciting, to a friend of hers with another. So it was very exciting, to make friends with a teacher who actually tried to make me learn about the country. I did not wear lipstick. Everybody says, you need to wear, I don't want lipstick. Let me take you to a drug. No, okay. So she acculturated me to the country. Go ahead, honey. We going too slow?
No.
What special position did you bring from your former homeland, and why was it special to you?
What possessions we brought?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
What special
I think
possession?
basically we took the oh my God, help me out. When we left home, we knew the Germans were coming. We took the
Mezuzahs?
mezuzah, ripped it out, and we had that mezuzah, plastic mezuzah, for years. I don't know where it is now. I don't know if it's gonna. I think it was in my mother. We never put it up again. But if you went for surgery, we always kissed. So anything was wrong, that mezuzah came out and we kissed it.
Wow.
That was one of the major, and another thing, blankets. Blankets, that was the most important when you go from one place to another, you have to sleep in the ground. If you have a warm blanket, that is something maybe the most precious possession. Otherwise, we walked, so we didn't bring anything. Blanket.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't bring anything like jewelry or something that belonged to you? Nothing.
No. Actually, the jewelry was at my step-grandmother, and we didn't go to her house because we wanted to escape. No, we didn't take anything.
Wow.
That's all the questions.
Those
That's
are all the questions.
You don't have
Let me
anything of
see.
your own? You don't
do
have...
I need to fill it out for you? Or you
No. Well, actually, we need to know your full name, right? And where you were born and how old you are.
Okay. I'm Tilda Finzi, F-I-N-Z-I, Cohen. I was born in 1933. I'm now 85 years old. What was the next question?
Where were you born?
Oh, I was born in Split, S-P-L-I-T, in the former Yugoslavia, now Croatia, which was at times under the Italian government, and then it was known as Spalato, or Split in Croatia.
Have you ever been back to visit?
Yes, I have. I went back twice. Once with just my husband, and we went, and it was maybe 200 Jewish families at one time, maybe, even maybe less, and now there were just about dozen, maybe 2 dozen or something. And I think I met maybe one person that had known my parents, and met one that was a friend. Our parents were friends. I didn't know her before the war. Otherwise, I didn't know any. I'm talking about the Jewish community. In the general community, I did not,
What about your house? Did you visit your house?
We lived in an apartment. Nobody has houses. And we went to the apartment. Of course, it was if somebody was living there, we couldn't go in.
Oh.
But we went up the steps. I have pictures when my granddaughter went up the steps and all that. It's still a nice building. Not middle class, building, and old, but very well kept.
That's great. Do you have any other questions, Jonathan?
No.
No, just the ones from your sheet? Nothing else?
No.
How about one other thing? I had a question. How did you meet your husband here?
How did we land?
How did you meet your husband when you got here?
I went New York, where I was going to high school, met this Esther Jacobs, who helped me take an exam to go to college, and I went to Hunter College, and still remained in that, and went to Hunter, and one day one of my friends who I'd met in college, American Jewish woman, woman at that time girl, she said, come to my house, have for dinner. So she wanted me to meet her brother. I did not like her brother. So he was a very, very nice guy, but I didn't particularly like, I don't know. And then a few months later, she said, my cousin is in from Pittsburgh. Please come for dinner. I said, please come just for a short time. That was it. By that time, I met my husband that evening.
Aw.
And basically he said the children should be beautiful that night.
Wow.
And
Wait, you went through Ellis Island.
Excuse me?
Did you go through Ellis Island when you came to America? You went through Ellis Island? You ended up...
No, I did not. That's what I didn't.
Oh.
No. I came as a refugee.
But you went to New York. You ended up in New York.
To New York. Hyatt picked us up.
Oh,
This
Hyatt.
bus. No. At that time, Ellis, 1950, July. I didn't know that anybody was coming to Ellis Island. Maybe at an earlier time. And then.
So how did you go from New York to Atlanta?
Oh, that is a completely. I married Leonard, who was living in Pittsburgh, went to grad school, and then from Pittsburgh, he got a job here. I mean, and there was a job in between, but from Pittsburgh, we basically moved to Atlanta. He was a social worker, became the director of Jewish Family Services.
So what year did you move from New York to Atlanta?
Excuse me?
What year did you move to Atlanta?
In 1960.
Wow. So you've been living here?
I came 1950 to New York, and I moved to Atlanta in 1960. By that time, I had 2 children and all that.
Wow. So you've been here since 1960 in Atlanta?
Yes.
Wow. Jonathan, no other questions? You don't want to know anything else? Okay. Well, I'm going to stop